Hi everyone, a really quick foundation review for you today, but hopefully it will be useful. I thought I would do one video rather than put this in a foundation roundup because I wanted to do a side-by-side comparison between the viral Terracotta Latam foundation, which came out around about a year ago, and then the brand new Terracotta Latam Glow from Guerlain. If you already have the Terracotta Latam foundation, do you need to be trying the Glow version? Which one is going to wear better? Which one am I going to prefer? Who do I think these are targeted at? Who do I think will get the most out of them? Time will tell in this video. We're going to be applying these side by side and doing a full-on 10-hour wear test where I will show you the results at the end of this video. The viral Terracotta Latam foundation was my ultimate favorite foundation of 2023. I loved everything about it. It is smoothing, it is creamy, it is soft, it is very satin-like, airbrushing, blurring, and also long wearing. So I just thought, why bother bringing out a glow version? Because this one, it's not overly matte. It's a really natural, soft, satin-like matte, more of a luminous matte. So I just didn't see why the glow version was necessary, especially as this isn't particularly radiant. But I've got to say, my skin has altered in the last couple of years, so we will see how we go. Let's go into the similarities and differences and get some of this on my skin. So here are both foundations side by side. They both cost £50 in the UK. They are both in glass bottles with a pump. The Terracotta Latam Original is in a frosted bottle, whereas the Terracotta Latam Glow is in a clear glass bottle, which I actually prefer because you can see the shade that's inside the bottle more clearly, so it's easier to pick your shade match. The original Latam comes in 30 shades. It's going to give you a luminous matte finish with medium buildable coverage, and the new Latam Glow comes in 31 shades. It's going to give you a radiant glowy finish, and in my opinion gives you slightly less coverage with light to medium coverage, but again, it's buildable where you need it. Both of these formulas are long wearing. They are both supposed to be transfer resistant, and both of them do contain alcohol and fragrance. Both of the shades that I picked were exactly the same shade, 0N, but as you can clearly see on the back of my hand, there is quite a significant difference between both of these shades. It does even itself out throughout the day though, so please bear with me. Both of them apply really beautifully to the skin, melt into the skin as far as I'm concerned. The original is, of course, blurring and airbrushing, and it does oxidize throughout the day, which is how both of these foundations even themselves out within a couple of hours, because the new Glow version does not oxidize and will stay the same shade that it was when you applied it. For me, the original has more of a natural skin-like finish, whereas the new Glow version is much shinier. It's still a skin-like finish. It's more my skin when I have skincare on, but it is quite a shiny finish. Not too much for me, and I'm not a massive fan of a lot of shine, but the shine is definitely still there. To increase the longevity of all of my foundations on a wear test, I always powder them in place at the very beginning, and I never touch up the foundations throughout the day. So here is a full face of makeup side by side. You will see both of these foundations look incredibly similar after a little bit of powder. After around about 10 minutes though, I will say that the glow from the new Glow version does start to poke through the powder, whereas the original does stay a lot more matte for a lot longer. Both of these foundations are incredibly lightweight on my skin, even on my cheeks where I chose to build both of the foundations up to hide a little bit of scarring that I still have from years and years and years ago. This for me doesn't feel like a foundation. Both of these don't feel heavy. Both of these don't have any stickiness or tackiness on the surface of the skin. They dry down, they stay put, and they are absolutely beautiful. No tightness, no dry feeling at all. Even though these stay put, however, and I would say they do have an element of transfer resistance in them, they did fail the tissue test, so just bear that in mind. If you are wearing a white shirt, this is going to transfer onto that white shirt, but it is all still present. at the end of the 10 hours. So I have an oily T-zone. Let's have a look at this after 10 hours wear test. I think both of these foundations have done incredibly well, and I was a little bit surprised about the new glow version because usually glowy foundations just slip off my skin, and this one definitely didn't. Yes, both of these foundations are dewier and shinier than they were on first application. What foundation doesn't have that effect on my oily T-zone? But I am really impressed by both of these. On the left-hand side of the screen where I applied the new glow foundation, you will notice where my glasses have been sat throughout the day, more of the foundation has lifted on the glow side than on the original side. You'll also notice that a lot more of my pores are evident because this is a glowy foundation. It's not really meant to be an airbrushing and smoothing and blurring foundation. It is very beautiful. My skin still looks lovely, but my pores definitely aren't airbrushed, whereas on the other side, on the original side, my skin is much smoother, my skin is more airbrushed, but also you will notice around the corners of my nose, it's looking a little more cakey on the original side than it does on the new glow side. Everything has stuck to my dryness around my nose, on my cheek area, and that little patch around the corner of my mouth and on the top of my chin looks a little dry and a little more textured. I will say though, between my brows, which is usually my problem area, still looks beautiful on both sides. So when I'm doing a wear test with any foundation, I don't wear a primer because I just think it gives a false positive and sometimes a false negative when you're trying out foundations with different primers. A lot of the time you want to know how this is going to wear on bare skin. You don't want to have to buy two products to make the foundation work. So although I did see a lot of dryness with the original Terracotta Battle, if I've been wearing a hydrating primer or if I'd maybe added a little bit more moisturizer in the morning, this, I'm sure, would have looked absolutely beautiful. But if you do have a lot of dry, flaky skin, I definitely would say this one probably isn't going to be for you. Also, though, it does go a little shiny around my nose area, which is slightly oily. So I also wouldn't say that if you have really oily skin, this would be for you either. The new Le Glow foundation, I was really impressed with this. No, it doesn't airbrush. No, it doesn't smooth. No, it doesn't get rid of every single pore on my skin, but it wore beautifully. No, neither of these are transfer resistant to the max. They did fail the tissue test, but every single scrap of the foundation was still there at the end of the day. And for a glow foundation, that is superb. This for me will be a definite no-no if you have really oily skin or live in an incredibly humid climate. If you're wanting to airbrush anything at all, I would say this looks really beautiful on the skin. It is very skin-like, but it's not going to do the job that you want it to do. I love both of these, both for completely different purposes, so I'm not going to be able to help you out which one is actually my favourite, although I've got to say I'm wearing the glow on my skin today and I do think it looks beautiful. If I am going out with this, I wouldn't have a problem wearing the Le Glow as long as I got a powder compact with me and I could just dust over those areas of oiliness throughout the day, a little bit of blotting powder if I needed to, but really like this, and it surprised me. I didn't think I was going to, because glowy foundations, they're just not my thing. I prefer a natural matte, so I thought this was going to come out on top, and actually there's not much in it. So I really hope you found this video useful. Please let me know what you've thought about it in the comment section. Also, please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell before you leave. Hope to see you all in the next one. Bye everyone.